of self-raising flour, a tablespoon of sugar and half a teaspoon of salt, 200 grams of butter, half a pint of water, and some sunflower oil. I'm going to put the dry ingredients into the bowl. So I'm going to put all the flour in here, put in the sugar and the salt. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some water in there, and we have to make it into a dough. So you might have to adjust the amount of water that you put in there. You might have to put a little less or a little bit more. So I've got a little bit more on the side just in case. Slowly pour the water in and stir it. If it gets too wet, all you need to do is just add a little bit more flour. So what we're going to do here is mix it, and then I'm going to put my hands in there in a minute just to stick it all together. And I've got a little bit more flour just in case it's a bit sticky. Okay, so here we go. And I really don't want it to be too sticky, so I'm going to just add a little bit more flour so that my hands don't stick to it. Okay. You can also take this out of the bowl if you want to and do it on your surface, but this bowl is big enough, so it's fine to do it like this. Okay. This process here doesn't take long at all, maybe a couple of minutes. Okay. And so now it's almost ready. I'm going to take it out of the bowl and I'm going to put it onto my floured surface. And just knead it a little bit more. You don't want to knead it too much. It still needs to be quite soft. And I think this mixture here will make about 6 rotis. So to do that, take it, cut it in half, and then give yourself 3 more equal sized balls. We'll then roll them up. Each of them. And then once we've done that, we'll just put it onto a floured plate and leave it for half an hour. Okay, so there are your 6 balls, ready to go onto a floured plate and just rest for half an hour. So the dough has been resting for half an hour. What I'm going to do is put it out onto a floured surface, and I'm going to roll it out for you and spread the butter over the top and show you how to make the roti. So you need to make sure that the surface is really quite floured, because this can be quite sticky. So make sure there's enough flour either side. And then you want to roll out your dough until it's about the size of a dinner plate. Probably quite a large dinner plate, to be honest. So we're going to spread the butter now over the surface of the dough, and you need to make sure that your butter is really quite soft because you have to spread it. How much you use is according to your preference, but I would suggest probably about this much will spread across the surface. Be careful because it can tear quite easily, so just take your time and spread it over the surface. All right. Okay, so once you spread the butter over the surface, you just take your knife and you cut. And then what you need to take is a corner of the dough and roll clockwise. And you're making a cone shape, hopefully you can see that. And you're gonna roll it all the way round So once you've got the cone shape, you pick it up. You pick it up, and then what you need to do is you tuck the ends in. Okay, once they're all tucked in neatly, turn it round, put it back onto the surface and take the pointed end and just poke it through the middle. You end up with a little ball like this. And I'll just add it to the plate to those I've already done. Okay, so 2 hours later, the roti is rested. What I'm going to do now is take each one and roll it out on a heavily floured board surface, because these are going to be really quite sticky now with the butter inside them. So make sure that your surface is really dusted well. And then we're going to roll them out again, same size as we did before. Take your time with it. You might have to turn it over to make sure it's covered in flour well. What I should have said is make sure that you have a frying pan on, really hot. You will probably need to put about a tablespoonful of oil in your pan to heat up, because when you put these rotis in the pan, it has to be very, very hot. Okay, so make sure you get that on the go before you bring your roti to cook. Okay, so we have the roti the right size and it's ready to take to the pan to cook. What you should do, be careful when you handle this because it is very soft. Try and dust off any excess flour because you don't want it to burn. Pan that's really hot now. It's got about a tablespoonful of oil in there. As you can see, it's not very much. It's just coating the bottom of the pan. What we're going to do is we're going to lay out the roti in there. And we have to wait for this to cook about 2.5 minutes before you turn it over. So 2.5 minutes later, you need to turn it over. I always use my hands because I've done it several times and I know that I'm not going to burn myself. It's quite easy to do that. Just take the corners and turn it over really quickly. If you're not confident to do that, feel free to take a spatula and then guide it over gently. Okay, and then it has to cook for another 2.5 minutes on the other side. You have the roti in the bowl, and what you're going to do is you're going to cover it with a plate and then get a tea towel, hold on to both of them really tightly for about 15 seconds. You can probably see bits of the roti coming out of the sides, but the reason why we're doing this is because we want to distress the roti a little bit so that it looks as though it's starting to break. So we're going to take it from the bowl quite gently, and then we're going to add it to the pile that I've already started to make. What you need to do is to make sure that you keep them warm. I've crossed over some foil and keep them wrapped so that they stay warm during the cooking process. It's up to you how you decide you're going to serve your roti. It can be with curry goat, curry chicken, curry fish, anything you like. Today, I'm going to serve mine with some chickpea and lentil curry.